Hearing of a case in which the Ghana Police Service is seeking to indefinitely stop a planned protest by the Fix the Country movement was temporarily disrupted Friday after some of its members were prevented from accessing the court premises by armed policemen deployed there. When the members were eventually allowed in, after the judge hearing the case excused the lawyers to go and resolve the standoff, the case was adjourned to June 14. Court correspondent Joseph Akable reports.
Take a good video. These men here said, almost said, when we got here, the first comment was, you will not let Fix the Country, you will not let you in. That was the first comment. And they have seized my phone.
The chaotic scenes at the law court complex, specifically the entrance when the protesters attempted to gain access to the court premises in order to monitor the case that has been filed against them by the Ghana Police Service. The case was called at 9 a.m. and the judge had to put the case on hold as she was informed by the lawyers that the protesters were being prevented from coming into the courtroom. The protesters claimed that they did not do anything to merit the force that they alleged the police to have used in order to prevent them from gaining access to the courtroom. Some of them have been speaking to us.
When we got to the gate, as soon as we got to the gate, of course, because of our t-shirts, they knew who we were. So they said, oh, Fix the Country, you can't come in. So we said, first they said, stand back. So we said, oh, okay. So we thought they just wanted to engage. And they said, you can't come in. Then we said, why can't we come in? They said, no, because you're not allowed in. And we said, but we've been asked to come to court. So how can you tell us that we can't come in? So then I said, okay, I'm taking my phone out. I'm going to do a video. I want you to repeat what you just said on video. So I decided to do a Facebook Live. So while taking that video, and then he said, why are you? Then he took the phone, and of course you saw him trying to drag me. I was trying to get the phone out of my hands, and then just telling us that we can't come in, we need to get our lawyers. At that point, they realized, so that's basically what happened. It was just first of all, in the morning, we're supposed to meet at TUC. The police went there in their numbers, they gathered there in their numbers to wait for us. I don't know what they thought was going to happen.
At 4 a.m.
4 a.m. At 4 a.m. they were at TUC waiting for us to do what? When people need the police, you're calling them because some armed robbers are in your house, they can't even turn up. But Nyamabi said, yeah, they've managed to find the time and the energy and the resources to gather themselves. Look at us. How many of us are there? Why do you need that level of aggression at the gates when we've been called to come to court? And so...
But they make the point that the manner by which you are coming, the judge eventually says you shouldn't come in groups, you should come individually.
What's the manner? A manner of 5 or 6 people entering a room. This is a manner.
The judge did make it clear that if you do not have the conveners here in court, I will not sit on the case. So how do you stop us and insist that our representatives are in? You know, and they manhandled her. How can you be pulling her and pushing her just because you wanted to claim her phone?
One of them actually had the audacity to say to me, if I wasn't working, you would have seen what I would do to you. And the other ones were agreeing with him. This is people that we pay with our taxes have the audacity to open their mouths and tell citizens that if I was not working, you would have known what I would do to you. So literally, this is what he did when there was cameras, it was in public. Can you imagine what he would have done if it was a private place?
ACP Kwesi Foyo of the Greater Accra Region Police has been offering some explanations as to why his men had to prevent them from coming in.
This is a court premises, and that people should not come en masse, and that individually they can come in to the court. But looking at the premises, the police are here, one, to provide adequate security for the court building and all the other courts therein. So, coming en masse with placards, flags, and other paraphernalia, among other things, may mar the beauty and ethics of the court. In view of this, my men on the ground decided, among other things, that they could leave those placards, they could leave the flags, and then also, limit that militancy and go to the court as individuals. So that was the position of the police, but that was misconstrued. But at the end of the day, the police balance issues and they were in, to appear before the court.
The protesters say that your men must have used a bit of violence. They told the court that one of them is injured and requires medical attention. Was that level of force necessary? They were just carrying a flag, a Ghana flag for that matter.
I think that is an issue of the court. As a police officer, I will not meddle in that.
Eventually, the case was called, and the main issue that the court had to deal with was the fact that the protesters had indicated that the police application asking that they are restrained from embarking on the street protest. They've now engaged lawyers, and it has just been brought to their attention, and so they needed some more time to file their responses. So the court adjourned proceedings to June 14 to enable them file that particular response. But the judge also gave some directions indicating that subsequently when they are coming into the court's premises, they should come individually, and there is no need for them to gather and come in such a manner that could potentially affect the peace around the court and its premises. This is the situation here. The case continues on June 14. My name is Joseph Akable. I'm reporting for Joy News from the Law Courts Complex.